Be sure to subscribe for more content.
What is up, ladies and gents? Welcome to the BigBC Finance Channel, and I hope you're having a very lovely day. So in today's video, we're going to be talking all about Dogecoin, what has happened to it recently, and where we think the price is going to go to in the near future. And I'll be giving you a price prediction as well as some key price levels and some trades I'm looking to make. So be sure to stay tuned for all of that. And of course, if you appreciate the analysis on this channel and you haven't done so already, be sure to smash the like button and subscribe for more content like this. So with that being said, let's jump straight into this video. Let's get the annotations back on here for Dogecoin. And firstly, let's just talk about what has been happening here on Doge. So of course, if you've been watching the crypto markets at all throughout 2023, you'll notice that we've had a very nice pump throughout the whole of crypto. Bitcoin, for example, if we go onto Bitcoin briefly, we can see that that is up pretty much from 16,000-ish to 23,300 at its highest. That's basically a 50% jump in price in the first 20 days of this year. So really good stuff in terms of really amazing bullish behavior here on crypto. Of course, stocks have been doing fairly well as well, and Dogecoin is no exception. We've seen a nice pump here on Dogecoin. So literally from the bottom to the top, that's 41% in the upwards direction. And as we can see here, things are still looking quite bullish in the sense that we are keeping to this bullish trend line here. So we got this bullish report that's basically supported the price of Dogecoin going in the upwards direction. We can see numerous tests where the price has come down to this bullish support and just kind of bounced up of it in the upwards direction. So most recently we saw that just yesterday, even though most cryptos crashed a little bit yesterday, we saw Dogecoin crash too, but in keeping to this bullish support. So that's really good to see. Of course, if we lose this level, then that could suggest that we're starting to see some sort of bearish trend here emerge on Dogecoin. But for now, since we're still going along this bullish support, we can assume that the trend of Dogecoin is going to continue in this upwards direction, which would be really lovely if we can get it back into double figures, back over the 10-cent mark, for example. So I'm looking out for that first and foremost. Of course, if you are a trader as well, you're looking at this bullish support line. It's never a bad idea to place a trade right when Dogecoin hits this yellow line. Of course, you're gonna have to adapt. Of course, every time the price of Dogecoin has touched this yellow line, we've seen a bounce pretty quickly in the upwards direction. So if we take this example here, we're on the 1 hour chart. We saw the price basically come down to touch this trend line, and very quickly we saw the price in the 1 hour chart close out already 4% above this bullish support here. So not a massive trade whatsoever, but nonetheless it can still be a nice quick profit for anyone trading. So that's the first thing I have come to notice. Of course, we always look at the 100-hour moving average as well, this blue line, which kind of tells us in the short term which trend we are in, and at the moment we are underneath this blue 100-hour moving average, so we are bearish. And so this is something I'll be looking out for over the coming hours, because of course when the price does something like this, for example, and we see the price kind of bound in between this bullish support and this 100-hour moving average, if we do see a breakthrough through this 100-hour moving average, that's typically been a place where we've seen a large pump in the upwards direction. Take this area for example, we've seen the price shoot up to this 100-hour moving average with quite a lot of velocity, and of course when we got above that 100-hour moving average, we saw the prices continue in the upwards direction. Same but on the reverse side for this one here, as soon as prices came below a 100-hour moving average, we saw prices continue to shoot in the downwards direction. So again, another thing that I'll be watching out for here on Dogecoin, the 100-hour moving average as well as this bullish support line in yellow. So two things there. Looking for chart patterns as well, particularly on the slightly longer term. What I'm starting to notice here on Dogecoin is something that's looking a little bit like this. So we can draw a kind of trend line that connects the two tops here on the Dogecoin price. Of course, the more tops the trend line can connect, the more reliable it is, and this one can only connect two. So, you know, we've got to take this with a pinch of salt, but it's something I'm going to be monitoring, particularly if we see the price do something like this, where we get to this level several more times, for example, and come back down. But generally, this kind of pattern is a rising wedge. This is a potential trend reversal pattern. And of course, we're going in a bullish trend now, but this could show us that we could potentially see a change of trend if we see a breakdown below this bullish support. And what's interesting about this rising wedge is it also gives us a nice price target to work towards too. So if we do indeed see a breakdown from this bullish trend here on Dogecoin, let's say we break out at the end of January here, we can expect this price target to be met just as a result of the price pattern, just as a result of the breakdown from the price pattern here. So this is something I'm going to be monitoring on the longer term. Of course, in addition to that as well, And to support the fact that we could be seeing some sort of change of trend on Dogecoin in the near future, what we see here is the MACD. It's kind of an indicator of momentum here on Dogecoin. And basically what we want to look at is divergences between the MACD and the price. If we see that the price is heading upwards but the MACD is heading downwards, this is a divergence, and this could signify that there is a change of trend happening in the near future. And of course, what we see here with the MACD on the 1 hour time frame are some sort of divergences. If we look at the lows here, for example, where I've highlighted in red, if we connect the same lows here on the MACD, we can see that the trend line on the MACD is pointing in the downwards direction, but the one on the price is heading in the upwards direction. This is the 1 hour time frame, and on the 4 hour time frame we see a similar story. If we just zoom in once again, and this time we look at the peaks here, we look at the trend line connecting the two peaks, that's going in an upwards direction, but the same trend line connecting the two peaks on the MACD in exactly the same time frame as the two peaks on the price there, we see that the trend line on the MACD is going in this downwards direction. So we're getting multiple divergences between the MACD and the Dogecoin price here, kind of signifying that we could be seeing a change of trend in the near future. And of course, this rising wedge kind of supports that because it is a trend reversal pattern. Now finally as well, from the MACD, what we also see on a 1 day time frame is a potential crossover in the works here between the MACD and the signal line, the blue and the orange line there. Of course, this, if it does cross over in this region, would be a sell signal, because just like we saw back over here on the 8th of December here on Dogecoin, we saw that crossover, and of course the price action after that was this whole downward slope all the way down to 6.6 cents, and that's when we got a buy signal because the MACD and signal line crossed over at the start of January there. So we're potentially seeing a crossover on the MACD on the 1 day charts here on Dogecoin, so potentially a sell signal coming up in the near future as well. So not the best outlook, but unfortunately that's what we have on the plates at the moment. We are still going in a bullish direction, so that's something I will reiterate. We're still continuing this upwards trend supported by this bullish support line here. Of course, we do potentially have some bearish technicals appearing up, and of course at the end of the day as well, it all depends on what the rest of the cryptocurrency market does. At the moment, Bitcoin is still sitting very high at $22,600. It has broken its own bullish support trend line, but it's consolidating sideways, and it's still up around 40% where it was at the start of the year, so that's obviously good to see. But we do have some mega risk factors coming up ahead. We've just had the Microsoft earnings that kind of shook cryptocurrency a little bit. We saw a lot of large cryptos down throughout today because the Microsoft earnings were weak. We have Tesla coming up, and of course if Tesla's is weak, that will probably plunge the stock market, that will probably plunge cryptocurrency down a little bit further. And throughout the course of this week and next week, we have some other big tech stocks releasing their earnings, and of course if they come out bad, if the outlook for them is bad, then that's going to push cryptos down quite a lot in my opinion. So in summary, in terms of buying Dogecoin, I'm not going to be buying any Dogecoin at this point until we see these earnings come out. There's too much uncertainty in the markets, and we are seeing some bearish technicals here on Dogecoin. In terms, we are seeing some bearish technicals creep up here on Dogecoin with the MACD and with this rising wedge pattern and those divergences. So at the moment, I wouldn't say Dogecoin is a buy. I'd be looking to short if we do go below this bullish support. And I do think the price target from that will be the distance between the first test of support and resistance of this rising wedge, which is this distance here. And of course, we just drag that measuring towards wherever we see a breakout. So roughly 7.1 to 7.2 cents, depending on where the breakout is. So, but yeah, that's pretty much my opinion here on Dogecoin, and that is pretty much all I have to say in this video. Thank you so much for watching. Do let me know down in the comments if you're bullish or bearish on Doge, and of course if you have any questions at all, feel free to comment them down below and I'll get back to you. But otherwise, I'll see you guys in my next video.